Dear Swami, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for getting all of us on the same call with the same intention, dear Bhagwan, of wanting to grow towards you, transform ourselves, become the best possible instruments that we can be, and truly offer ourselves to you and blossom in this regard. Jai Sai Ram. Saram, everyone. Welcome to our call. Having welcomed Swami, I'm almost curious to see what was Swami doing as a young adult, like all of us. Isn't that something that we're curious about? So let's check out what Swami actually was doing as a young adult.
అఖిల మానవులకు ఆనందమునగూర్చి రక్షించుచుండుటే దీక్ష నాకు సన్మార్గమును వీడి చరించు వారల పట్టి కాపాడుటే వ్రతము నాకు బీద సాదలకైన పెనుబాధ తొలగించి లేమిని బాపుటే ప్రేమ నాకు నియమనిష్టలతోడ నను గొల్చు వారిని కాపాడుచుండుటే ఘనత నాకు మంచి చెడ్డలు కూడా మనసులో సమముగా భావించుచుండుటే భక్తి నాకు
Swami further assures us, and I quote, "This means that I will never give up those who attach themselves to me. I will not give up my mission nor my determination. I know I will carry them out." Unquote.
So you guys can see that at the age of 20, as a young adult, Swami wrote this mission and vision statement. This is something that gave me and the pilot team cause to pause and ponder.
When we were shown this video during one of our planning sessions, it was very neat to see how Sai had done a similar exercise of creating that mission vision statement, similar to what we are going to be doing today. However, we will be going through a couple of questions on Menti. First, through the QR code, if you guys don't mind scanning. I will drop a link for those who are on their laptop. Perfect. So how does it feel to know that Swami also has a life vision in place? I see inspiring, empowering, grounding love, unifying and empathy. Now moving on to the next question. We have a couple of yes or no questions, and this is just to see what boat we are all starting this program in and to I guess reflect. So first, do we have a clear life vision in place? Wow, it does look pretty even across the board with yes, no, and somewhat. Do we create a New Year's resolution each year? Wow, I guess most of us don't. Looks like some of us do though. Are we able to keep up with our resolutions? And if you said no before, are you able to keep up with any goals that you guys set? Cool. Other than one, I think we're mostly in like the no, sometimes or mostly range. And lastly, have we ever felt frustrated by not sticking to your New Year's resolution? Looks like it's mostly a yes. We have one last question. It's a slider. I've never used a slider before, so I don't know how the results are going to look. But essentially, it's statements on why we're not able to keep up with our goal. I think the slider lets you choose between strongly agree, which is all the way to the right, and strongly disagree, which is to the left. Okay, it looks like it seems to be motivation and complex. However, we do still find them relevant. Great. So now that we have a pulse check on where we're currently sitting at, I'm excited to pass it back to Anand to talk about Sai Blossoms.
Hey, thank you so much, Smriti. Hopefully that exercise was kind of eye-opening in one sense. It was interesting that, at least half of you had some sort of a life vision and half of you didn't. Correct, Smriti? Wasn't that the results like for that?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's amazing that so many of you guys have actually invested in it. Now, let us kind of quickly touch upon what is Sai Blossoms, what are we here for, and why did we even pick this as an offering for Swami's 100th birthday? If you guys can remember that this is an offering for Swami's 100th birthday next year, and we as the national team were thinking to ourselves, Swami, what is it that you want us to offer? So many things have been slated for next year. So many Sai 100 projects coming through the pipeline at all levels, from international down to national, down to local, regionally, and then centers taking up their own Sai 100 projects and initiatives. And amidst all of that, we were asking ourselves, Swami, what is it that you want the young adults to offer? And at that point, I think the resounding answer that I received in my contemplation to Bhagwan was, Bhagwan said, I want it to be my birthday in your hearts. So that truly means his birthday in our heart truly meant that Sai had to blossom. And therefore, we chose the name of this initiative as Sai Blossoms. And next question was, Swami, we are already doing so much. The organization has been set up for this purpose. So what is it new that you want us to do? What else do we need to do to blossom? And in this regard, he gave this incredible, slide that you guys are seeing. Because this slide truly helped us, one, kind of get a pulse check on ourselves and our own journeys. And I think you guys will relate to it as well. He says that the true way to serve yourself and to mark his birthday in you is to experience joy. Because Swami has always said, be happy, Bangaru, be happy, be happy. That is all that he's ever wanted. And when we are happy, he takes birth in us. But how do we remain happy? That seems to be a very fleeting thing for so many of us, including me, at many a point in time. And here he gave the formula. He said, erect two poles. The positive pole, he said, is serve thyself. And the negative pole is serve others, right? That's what he said. Service to others is paraseva. Atma seva is service to oneself. And he said, only when both these poles are concurrently erected does the flash of bliss emanate. And this obliterates all worries, fears, and anxiety. And this is something that plagues someone like me, and I know potentially it plagues a lot of young adults, right? And I realized, you're right, Swami, that I end up doing either one or the other, or neither consistently. So that seemed to be, my current status when I truly evaluated myself against it. And I want you guys to also take like 10 seconds to think this through as to whether you guys are able to erect both poles and serve yourself and serve others effectively. And I'll let you guys take about 10 seconds or so to think that through. And that's the basis on what this program is based upon, this very slide.
I think everyone is warming up, Sriram. We can.
Okay, sure.
There's one from Ritesh. It says, even 10 minutes of consistent sadhana in a day can change the entire outlook. I think Ritesh is giving off what Sai Blossoms is. So hold on, Ritesh. Go ahead, Sriram.
Yeah. So we thought, okay, Swami, serving ourselves or Atma Seva. So then, Swami, what does this Atma Seva mean? And how can we kind of contextualize it in our lives? That was the big question for us, right? It sounds like Atma Seva. I don't really understand what exactly constitutes this Atma Seva. And that's where Sai Blossoms comes in. That Sai Blossom says that Sai, or the spirit within, the soul within, has given us 3 amazing instruments. That's why we call ourselves Sai instruments. It's because of these 3 equipments that have been given to us. And Swami is saying, tune them to my rhythm. Tune them to your internal rhythm. I live inside you as the conscience. Tune all of these equipments to my rhythm. And so what does that mean? It means the body ought to be at ease. And we described, again, many of us in preparation for this series as part of the core team took this ease program, and we have taken it over 5 months or so. And it's been eye-opening on many fronts and a pretty deep exercise. So ease is eating right or eating responsibly, right? A is the awareness or positive attitude. S is sleep well. And E is exercise regularly. So that is how the body remains at ease to function, as it is the instrument of action. And the mind is in tune with Sai. And that could mean, how do you remain in tune? It's up to us to figure. We've just laid out through 2-3 aspects that came to our mind. And importantly, this I, which is the intellect, Swami calls it buddhi, or the subtle intellect that is always should be in tune with our conscience. And it's that discriminative ability that helps us make decisions, the right decisions, in tune with our conscience. And I found this is kind of a hard one too, because I oftentimes have to make decisions and I many times regret it. And here it is, he says, the intellect should be in harmony with your conscience. So body at ease, mind in tune, intellect in harmony. So this is how we're going to take Atma Seva and contextualize it into our lives, right? And in this regard, we were thinking of developing Blossom buddies, locally or regionally. And we want regional reps as well as regional young adults to take this program and make it their own. We at the national level, like we mentioned there, want to create national level satsangs. We want to give you guys focus on applications and tools and some sort of practical inspiration for day-to-day living, right? And we want to garner some feedback and pass it down to regions to enable them to truly flush this program through the veins of their YAs, to say, right? And so that's what Sai Blossoms is taking serving oneself and contextualizing it into our daily lives. So again, this is a word that we have heard so many times in the Sai world, and it's probably we know this, but somehow when we take to sadhana and sticking to it, right now we saw resolutions and stuff, and people said sometimes no, very few people were able to completely, really, truly stick to it. And the same thing seems to potentially happen to our sadhanas as well. And Ritesh just said 10 minutes is also fine. Yeah, 10 consistent 10 minutes is amazing, but even that seems to be a Herculean task sometimes, at least for me right now in my current stage with a toddler, right? And so we quickly wanted to understand and clarify our own definitions for ourselves. What is sadhana? Swami clearly says in Satyasai Speaks, it is an activity undertaken to achieve one's goal or purpose in life. Well, if we don't have a clear-cut vision or purpose, then I don't know how we can truly undertake an activity or sadhana that truly addresses it. That's the first thing. Next is, I think we need to be clear on why are we doing sadhana? Now that we have understood what sadhana is a means to achieve a goal or an activity to achieve a goal. Why are we doing it? Sadhana in its truest purpose, Swami says, you ought to do it so that you can claim what is truly yours. Dhana is wealth, sa is divine. Claim your true divine wealth. It is your peace and joy and happiness. That is what Swami is saying. I want it to be my birthday in the form of you all being happy, and happiness is truly union with God, right? And that's why he says, use sadhana as a means. Now, how do you use sadhana? How do you use sadhana? This is where I think the rubber hit the road for me as to why a lot of my so-called efforts at sadhana and trying to get sadhana right have failed. Because I haven't understood the how properly. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I will explain it. He says, for sadhana, how to do sadhana, you first have to make your outlook pure. And he says how to do it. And we're going to try to practice that today through an exercise. That's the main focus of today's call, actually. How do you make your outlook pure? He says, sadhana is a transformatory practice that is there across all religions and spiritual practices. Because it is that process that A, cleanses you. That is why that A of takes out, that cleansing is the first portion that sadhana ought to do. The second thing that sadhana ought to do, any sadhana ought to do, is it needs to recognize and better what is already good in you. Are we able to use our sadhanas to feel, this is something that I already possess. I want to make this better. That should happen through sadhana. And the third thing, sadhana should fill you with joy by itself, because it is helping you expand into true love. So there's an immediacy effect of sadhana as well. Apart from the long term, there's an immediacy effect in terms of uplifting you and you feeling that joy. So at least one or two, if not all three happening, should happen when you do sadhana. So that is the important part of how you do sadhana. If none of these three are happening, then we really need to step back and kind of gauge something is wrong with sadhana or what we claim as sadhana. It is not truly sadhana at that point. This I felt was very, very powerful. So what does Sai Blossom aim to provide? So it wants to provide for those of us who don't have a clear-cut life vision and mission. We want to provide that, and that's what we're going to try to do today. The second aspect we want to try to provide is continuous inspiration, because we will bring in amazing speakers, fellow YAs who are living, practicing, and embodying these values that we cherish and want to represent in ourselves. We also will try to keep it a very meaningful format so that you guys can derive something that is a takeaway for your personal life from these sessions. And we want to ensure that you have a YA tribe that is all seeking to evolve, however they want to evolve. But we are all seeking to evolve, and we are together. The community of YAs coming together, that energy and that purity in wanting to evolve, that is what Sai Blossoms is going to evoke. And that is what we aim to provide, because that is what Swami, wants us to provide. And that is what we intend to.
So now that we know what Sai Blossoms is intended to do and the importance, let's talk about what we can expect during the program. It is a year-long program that is intended to be from Swami's birthday from 2023 to 2024. And I know that duration might sound a little scary, but truly think of this program as a make-your-own adventure. At the end of the day, you are accountable to you. So whether you join every session that we host, have a buddy attend all the local events, or just keep yourself accountable, it is completely up to you. You invest as much time and effort as you are able to give. Under the BMI framework that Sri Ramana took us under, we will be splitting the 12 months by body, mind, and intellect, with 4 months given to each. Through this, you will essentially have 3 goals by the end of the year that you've been working through. So you will start off with your body goal, and once the 4 months are up, you will be adding your mind goal, and similarly, after 4 more months, you'll be adding your intellect goal. So they essentially will stack. And although you are making your own adventure, the neat thing and difference about this program versus doing a resolution or goal setting on your own, as Anna alluded to, is all the support you will get. We will be helping you track your progress, providing you the support system of not only the YAs in your region, but nationally, as well as through various activities, connects, and meets. And of course, for those who opt for it, you will have an accountability buddy and group for each goal you choose to keep you motivated and engaged.
So guys, this is again where the rubber hits the road. I would highly recommend that you guys grab a pen and paper, or like she said, she's dropped it in the chat link. You can certainly download that, and use that for what we're going to do from here on. Let's begin. Okay, so what we want you to do is, importantly, I want to give you guys clarity on what we're doing right now. We have all heard of the term constant integrated awareness. Swami has said is the route or the route to experiencing divinity and true happiness. Okay, if we are to have this awareness, then we would have a constant integrated vision, right? And a mission like what Swami had. Swami had constant integrated awareness, and therefore he always had this vision and mission. Now, the point is, we were asking ourselves, at least I genuinely felt I didn't seem to have that sort of true integration. My life still truly lives in silos. I know that's not what truly being spiritual means, but I'm not yet there, right? And I was praying to Swami and said, Swami, I'm not able to truly integrate my life. Dear Bhagwan, you percolate into these silos. And that is what we're going to try to do today. We are trying to see how Swami can percolate into all our silos. And we've just created, again, a version of this. You guys can run with it. This is not a one-off exercise, okay? I'll say that at the very beginning. We'll do this as an exercise today, but this is certainly not something you can do just as one-off. This is your life. Our life is our work, because Swami said, your life is my mission. He initially said, my life is my mission. Then he said towards the end, your life is my mission. So if our lives is his mission, then our lives is our work, correct? And in that regard, I think we must take this exercise rather seriously and invest in it. So what will this life vision manifesto actually give us? So it is going to invoke Sai into our lives, into all the different silos of our life. Now, how does Sai percolate into our life vision manifesto is? The S is, it is going to be a safety or guardrail. What do I mean by that? Because sometimes I don't have a strong intellect, the I, that instrument isn't strong enough, finely in tune to pull on the mind, which is the reins. If you think of the whole body, Swami always says the body is a chariot. The senses are the horses that are pulling the reins, which is the mind, in all directions. The charioteer, which is the intellect, which is the instrument given to hold the reins, should be able to hold it really strongly. But I realized, boy, I don't have that sort of intellect that truly is able to hold my mind, because it goes helter-skelter. If you guys are in the same boat as me, then that is where this manifesto comes in, because we check in with this. It helps make decisions. What does the word decision mean? Look at that. Decision means to cut away or cleave away. So cut away or cleave away what? Any sort of, decisions or incidences that are not in alignment with what we want. Do away with stuff that we ought not to be doing, and also to do away with, cleave away stuff that has nothing to do with where we want to go. Because a lot of things are so cool and so attractive in today's world, at least for me, especially on social media. I'm pulled into it. I don't even know why I spent the kind of time I spent there watching some reel or watching something. I was just pulled into it. It was just so cool, but it actually had nothing to do with my life. So this document will be a guardrail that helps you make right decisions. Cut away the excess, the unnecessary, and the potentially harmful. And it is going to next align. Align and harmonize and balance. This is one word. Balance at least seems to be a distant reality in the truest sense. Trying to balance home, toddler life, work in a startup, also doing Swami's work. Like I said, I live in silos. I'm not yet there. And truly balancing it has been a struggle. And this week particularly has been a struggle for me. Right? But here, importantly, this document is going to help us align and harmonize and balance frictional goals. What does that mean? The thing is, we want a lot of things. For example, I want a great career, or I want growth in my career. I want to spend more time with my child and family. I want to, work out. But time, energy is finite, and something has to give. And I find that one of these things, or some of these things, are in friction with one another. They're not truly aligned. That is the other problem that I face. I hope you guys resonate with it. And that we are going to now try to align. We're going to try to prioritize and align, because prioritization, again, is a kicker in my life. It just kicks me in the teeth time and again. I struggle with it big time. I admire other YAs and elders who do that well. For that's something I truly struggle with. So that's where the A is. And the I is the intentionality. See, we talked about struggling with consistency, with our resolutions. Once we know why we are doing this, then the intrinsic motivation, desire is lit. And this desire truly is a desire of our true yearning and calling, right? And this is what our soul truly seeks. And we are going to invoke Swami right now before we begin this, because we have to set that intentionality, because only then that intentionality provides consistency and incisiveness. Again, incisive, unlike decisive, is you cut into. So incisive means we really need to be deep divers. No more, like Swami says, no more standing on the shore looking in for the pearls. We got to dive in. and get those pearls. That's what Swami wants us to do. That's what we're going to do. That's what this document's going to do for us. So safety guardrail, alignment, and intentionality. That's how Sai is percolating into all our silos. So let's quickly invoke Bhagwan because it's very important. And I encourage that you guys, every time you guys do this exercise, invoke Bhagwan. Sit in a space wherein you can have some sort of quietude and clarity and invoke Swami. Because sometimes we desire so many things, we don't know what is it that we truly desire. But by invoking Bhagwan, he knows what our soul truly yearns for. It's been through so many lifetimes of journey and it has arrived here. And we're very lucky, all of us. We are a tribe that are connected by our love for Bhagwan and for love for each other. That is why we are the YAs. That's why he calls us Sai Lions, right? And I think it is so important that we call upon him to ensure that the desires that we come up with or this document that we come up with truly our soul's yearning and calling. So let it now percolate into every aspect of our life. And now let's begin with a prayer. So join me, guys. Dear Swami, O Hridaya Nivasi, O Antaryami, O conscience, shine forth and provide the safety guardrail in my life. Provide, Swami, alignment and also provide intentionality. May the equipments that you have given me, the instruments that you have given me, be the body, the mind, and the intellect, be tuned into you through this document. May it all be connected into the source that is you, Bhagwan, through this life vision manifesto. Please be with us. Be with us through this exercise, not just today, but every day. May we revisit it time and again, and may we truly work on it and offer it to you and surrender it to you as a life vision document, either by this coming birthday or whenever we are able to. But we offer to you, Bhagwan, our lives and our life vision and mission. Please take control of the reins. Truly be the Sanatana Sarati, the true eternal charioteers. Jai Sai. So having invoked Bhagwan, now let us dare to think big. Dare, have the courage. Swami says, have the courage. Life is an adventure. Have the courage. Let's have the courage to truly yearn for and call out for what we want. No shame in it. Go for it. This is the time, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to envision and get in touch with that best version of ourselves in each of these aspects of our life that we are going to talk about. That best version of ourselves, and having connected with that version of ourselves, we are then going to look at where we are currently and see what can be done. Dear Swami, please hold our hands and percolate into all our silos. Jot down. So the first silo is health and fitness. First, with your body. Imagine it to be radiant, full of health and vitality, for it is in the presence of the Lord. Feel Him blessing us. blessing our body. It be an instrument of strength and service. Having gotten into the zone, now express gratitude to our body in its current form, however it may be. It has done so much for us, so tirelessly, thanklessly. Breathing happens on its own. Circulation happens on its own. The very basics of life happen on its own due to Bhagavan. Thank it. Express your gratitude. Pen it down. How does it feel to do so? In this category of health and fitness, as it currently is in for you, identify one aspect that you do well that enables you to be this best, vibrant, healthy, full version of yourself in terms of your physical body. Some small thing that you're already doing. Could be something as simple as drinking water regularly. Identify that one thing. When you eat, probably how you eat. Could be sleep, a bit of exercise, whatever you're doing, right? Identify it. Swami says, identify it and better it. So identify and write it down for your sadhana. The next aspect that we touch upon is, if you were to surrender or let go of one negative aspect about your health and fitness that you currently possess, surrender it to Swami, let go. He wants to cleanse it off with respect to your health and fitness, both of them. At least one thing that you can identify. What would that be? Bhagavan's with you. Surrender it to him. Now that you're in the presence and holding Bhagavan's hands, feel all the positive emotions that you want to fill your day with. Feel it and write it. Activity or activities already help you feel this way that you do currently. Feel surge positive emotions. What are you already doing in your day-to-day life? Identify that you could foster something small that you're doing. Feel positively in your life. Identify what negative emotions do you want to release? Surrender to Bhagavan. You have His presence. Do it. Let go. You are in the presence of the Lord. He says, the Gunashila, you're the virtuous one. Feel it. He says, what traits or characteristics or virtues do you deeply desire to embody? Write it down. The best is within you. Ask for it. What is a trait or virtue that you currently possess that you want to foster? Be it's gentleness, certain kindness, compassion. What is it that you already see in yourself that you want to foster, that you currently have? Or what is or are some vices that you want to let go, release, surrender to Swami? Negative traits don't belong to me, Bhagavan. I am your instrument. Fill thy grace, thy virtuosity in me. Here I am letting go. my negative or negative trait. These vices may be visitors, but they're not permanent residents in me anymore. Swami is saying, sadhana, sadhana, sadhana. What is that sadhana that you're enjoying now, currently? Bangaru. This pats us, hugs us, says, foster it, write it. What is it? Some small thing you are doing. Spot it. Caress it like how he's caressing us. Hug it. Cherish it. What is a practice you must embark on? Still throwing the challenge. 100th birthday, you say. It's my birthday in you. What are you going to pick up? Positive pole is done. Negative pole, where, sir? Says Bhagwan. And he says, how do you envision engaging with your spiritual community? You set up an organization. How do you envision engaging? What is your right way? What is the way that feels right to you? Forget what anyone else says. How does it, or how do you want to engage in it? Write it down. What is it that you hope to derive from these satsangs? Swami is asking, what is it? Have clarity. What is it that you hope to derive from this community? Is it just a group? Folks you hang out with? What is it that you want from it? What do you want from the satsang that is meaningful to you? Truly meaningful. Truly serves you. Next is, what is this relationship with yourself? Feel it, says Bhagwan. What is your understanding of self-love? Define it. What does self-love mean to you? I talk about love. What does the self-love mean? Define it. Create this relationship with yourself. What does self-confidence mean? I want that in my boys and girls. On self-confidence, what does that mean for you, Bhagwan? Write it down. What does self-confidence mean? What is one thing that you will do to develop it for my birthday? For my birth in you. What will you do? That one thing to develop self-confidence. What is the relationship that you want with your family? What do you want to feel? First thing here is your parents. Think of your parents. Swami says you owe it to them. What kind of a relationship do you want with your parents? Feel it. Feel the joy, the love, the sense of affection, this level of understanding and reverence. Feel it. We owe everything we are to them. Feel that relationship. Then ask, what is your current status? Examine it. What is one ritual you can do to truly blossom it? What is some simple ritual that you probably are doing? Do it consistently. To deepen this connect with your parents. We encourage you guys to do this recursively with your partner and children if applicable. Important one. Swami says, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Swami is asking, who's currently in your social circle? Have you ever stopped and noticed it? What do you want to attract in your social circle? Who do you want to be friends with? What sort of values do they represent? Have you stopped and taken notice? What sort of a friend are you to them? Is it nourishing, deep, meaningful, or surface level? We're getting to the end here. Swami says, what is your ideal career? Work, work, work. What is this work? What is this work going to provide you with? What do you want it to provide you with? What sort of personal growth do you want it to give you? If you're a homemaker, that is your career. If you're a student, that is your career. What do you want it to provide you with? What sort of growth do you want from it? What will you prioritize in this career or in this role moving forward? Is it just money? If that is important, there's something else that you need to prioritize that's more important. Swami says this is the thing that runs the world. What does I want you to have? When you have Satya Narayana with you, you have Lakshmi, my consort, also with you. What does it feel like to have this stability, financial stability? What does it feel like to have financial stability? And what should you reduce or eliminate to create this stability? Is there wasteful expenditure? Says Swami gives a beautiful financial bathtub theory. Says plug the holes, open the taps, plug the holes, the wastage. Swami is saying identify where you're wasting. Sealing on desires, Bangala. Sealing on desires. Plug the hole. What do you need to create to bring stability? Open the taps. Use it to serve others wisely. Swami is reminding us money is a great servant but a bad master. I am your master. You are my slave. Money is your slave. Never forget it. Experiences you want, Bangar. So you're this generation of wanting to experience stuff. Life is about experiences, not what do you want to experience? What is your bucket list? Swami is in vogue. What is your bucket list of experience? What do you want from these experiences? Be a simple hike, be going to a concert, be going to a medical camp. What experiences do you want to have? How would they enrich your life? Intentionality, set it, meet it. Finally, Bangalu, what does your home look like? What do you want to be surrounded by? Home environment, so important, affects you in a big way. That's why I have it in my 10 guiding principles. What is your ideal home environment like? With clarity. If you keep that clean, you will keep Mother Earth clean. We have completed to an end this exercise. I think let us thank Bhagwan. Dear Swami, thank you for holding our hands through this exercise. We surrender to you all that we have jotted down. Now, what more do you want from us? Angaru, I want you to pick 3 aspects that you have written down and make that part of your life vision. 3 aspects from this exercise. Continue doing it. Continue gaining clarity. Pick 3 big goals from this exercise that has a major impact on your life vision. Whatever it may be, pick 3. Sure, Bhagwan. Write that down. Pick 3. Talk to me. Ask me, what are those things? I will tell you. Continue talking. If you struggle, pick. Now, having picked 3 Bangaru, pick 2 to 3 daily habits, sadhana, that will address these goals and make it your own. Remember, any goal requires my 3 instruments. The physical energy as the body, the mental energy as the mind, and the intellectual energy as the discriminator. 3 daily habits or rituals or sadhanas that will help you live out these 3 goals, these large goals. This will be your offer to me via Sai Blossoms. I look forward to reading. I look forward to seeing you imbibe it. I look forward to seeing you practice it and live it. Good Bhagwan. So my friends, this is something that we will offer to Bhagwan at our own altars. Want to pause here. I know it's been quite the exercise, but I pause here, and any questions, FAQs, thank you so much for patiently putting up with the length of the exercise. Hope it was meaningful. I think Ananda has posed an important question. So picking 3 of these categories to focus on is truly hard. That is actually very true. And I think that is where we talked about the alignment aspect of this life vision. The S, A, and I, the A was alignment. You don't want to pick frictional goals. You want to align and commit to it and have the ability to commit to it. So this is something that we didn't do this for this exercise specifically, but is just a suggestion. If you find it hard to pick 3 categories to focus on, rank yourself, for each of these categories on a score of 1 to 10, if this helps. Okay, we didn't want to focus on us obsessing on this, especially we tend to be hard on ourselves and very judgmental. Here, this was aspirational, and we are going to live it out, and we are going to become that. But if you find it hard to pick 3 categories, evaluate yourself currently as you are on each of these categories on a scale of 1 to 10. So now you could, if you're pretty dissatisfied with any category, you could say 1, you could rate yourself 1 to 2. If you're, not extremely dissatisfied, you'd say 3 to 4. 5 and 6, you're doing somewhat okay. 7 and 8, you're kind of satisfied in this category. 9 and 10, you're very satisfied in this category. So if you want some sort of metric by which you want to evaluate yourself, so go from extremely dissatisfied, 1, 2, dissatisfied, 3, 4, okay, somewhat okay, 5, 6, 7, 8 is satisfied, 9, 10 is very satisfied in this category. So that way you can come up with 3 categories wherein you're not doing that well, and probably focus on those 3 categories and then daily rituals or sadhanas that relate to that. Like poles repels, so I find the idea of two positive poles doing some Atma Seva as buddies very interesting. That's a good one. I'm asking.
So now that we've been through the vision exercise and learned about Sai Blossoms BMI, I'm sure there's a lot of questions about the program and next steps. Thus, we're going to quickly take you through an FAQ. I'm also realizing that I didn't raise any of these as questions, but let's just pretend I did. I'm sure y'all aren't thinking the first one since you are here, but as you interact with others, please feel free to invite them to join along, sign up using the intake form. You don't need to be present today in order to participate. You are also not restricted to the tools and aids that we give you. For example, if you and your group's goals are like reading a book, you can create your own book club and select books together. You can personalize this to however you feel fit to truly make this experience and meaning your own. And lastly, your goal doesn't have to be super challenging or even a daily commitment. You know your lifestyle the best and you are only accountable to you. If you can only commit to once a week, that is perfectly fine. If your goals are as simple as taking 3 breaths when overwhelmed, that is also great. You just need this to be valuable, worth your time, and achievable. What can we expect in the next few weeks? Although you've had a glimpse of reflecting on your life vision, we actually do need to formulate what those 3 goals are that we're going to choose within the BMI framework, so that you can offer it to Swami in your own altar on his birthday. For those interested in specialized programs or buddies or groups, we will also send out a way for you to update what goal and habit category you are choosing to do. And once we have this information, we will start pairing off buddies for you all to connect. I did see a question about the intake form, and just I guess a reminder, you actually need to fill that out in order to be paired up with a buddy, and I will attach it to the chat right now.
Any final questions? Now is the time to pose it. And channeling Hari Uncle, give people time to pose questions. We want to be mindful of your time as well, but just quick couple of minutes. Anyone has any questions? Anything that you guys... Yeah, go ahead, Savita.
Thanks, Sairam, everyone. This intake form, will it be available for the duration of 2025 for anybody who wants to join in?
Yeah, absolutely. This is, yes, will be totally open. And that's what you have as the sign-up form that came out with the message.
Okay.
So keep continuing to spread the message, because we want every YA to get on board. Because this is not about you banding together and we telling you to do something. This is for you. And we are going to create, hopefully, like we said, inspiration, structure, and a tribe that all wants to evolve. And so we are just here to provide the scaffolding needed for your growth. That's why we want every YA to be aware. It's up to them what they want to make of it.
Sairam Shriram, just had a quick question. Sorry if you had already mentioned this, but there are folks in my region who weren't able to make the call. So just in the interest of carrying this back to them, the next steps and timeline wise, obviously the goal is to go through the exercise and kind of formulate our own vision for kind of what we want to work on by around Swami's birthday. As far as the kind of next steps of pairing folks up and entering into these communities and things, is there a certain time you anticipate that happening by? I ask because tentatively, thinking about how we can potentially do this within our own region just to get the exercise out there and all that. Just want to understand kind of like the time frame for when everyone should be signed up and kind of entered into the pairing and all of those things.
Okay, so quick thing, I'll also let Padma Shri weigh in, but quickly just to answer some of your points, right? Now, we will share the kind of guided visualization portion of it, like what I did right now, we will share it for folks who sign up through this intake form so that they can access it along with this document wherein you can jot down stuff as you go through this guided portion. So they can do it at their own leisure. And that's the first thing. Now, we expect to start with the body next month. We will have a session with the B. Like Smriti said, it will be B body-related sessions next month. And we'd ideally encourage everyone to sign up before then. So ideally, if you can get people to sign up quicker, greater, that's the ideal thing. Greater numbers who sign up earlier, the better. But keep pushing it out. And ideally, if you can get everyone to sign up before the next session next month, that would be great. And the other thing that you would encourage them is to work on their own life vision document and offer it to Swami. If not for his birthday this year, then whenever, but offer it to Swami in their altars. Now, that's with respect to what you asked on that front. What was the other aspects that you raised the question on? The body and stuff of that sort, right? So I'll let Padma Shri also weigh in, but I also have a few thoughts on that. Padma Shri?
Yeah, I think right now we are working on getting the app ready in time for Swami's birthday. So ideally what we would want is, YAs would log into the app and they would see this Sai Blossoms portal where you can enter which category within body, for example, and mind you're interested in. And if you are interested to get assigned a buddy, we would then pick somebody who has a similar interest. For example, if you pick eating healthy, then we would connect you with somebody who also has some similar interest. So that's kind of what we have in mind. So the reason why we're asking you all to fill the intake form is we want to know how many of you would like to use an app, have a buddy, and some of those aspects. So we are actually looking at all the input that you all are providing to see how we want to move forward and what would be helpful so that we all can actually pick a sadhana and be consistent and help each other in this journey. Back to you, Shira.
Yeah, Ananda, does that address it? And that's where you guys come in, man. You remember in the first steps, we said this body and taking this back to your YAs, we perform at the national level overarching sessions, right? You guys can, as reps and along with your champs who are in each of your regions, and if you don't have a champ, Sai Blossom champ in your region, then let us know. We will get you a Sai Blossom champ, or myself or Padma Shri will be allied with you guys. And along with us and you guys, we take this to our ground YAs within our region and centers. And you guys make it your own. You guys probably want to focus on some aspect of this more because your YAs want that more. So you guys take that and focus on that in your own satsangs in the regions and local center levels. You guys have specific satsangs under this broad umbrella. So does that make sense? Have we answered a fair number of your questions, or is it still wishy-washy for you?
No, thanks, Sriram and Padma. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that the buddy thing is definitely going to be a huge utility, but also sometimes, like you said, allowing for places where there's already that kind of trusting relationship between YAs might engender more kind of sharing and all that. So the fact that we have the option to do both is great. So thank you.
Yeah. And for folks who don't want to have that buddy, of course, that's where we hope to work on the app. Again, Swami is working in mysterious ways. Like I said, even for this session, he's worked in mysterious ways. If an app needs the way you want to go as an individual, that's the way you go. You want an app and a buddy, you're going to get it. I think Swami is going to deliver it. Whatever is needed for you to evolve, he says. So that's where we end, with that resolve to evolve, guys, because that's what Swami wants us to offer, that resolution for evolution. And he explains to us, this is where he explains it all. what is this evolution? The word Sai, he says, spells out to the world transformation at 3 levels. And these are the 3 broad buckets that we actually went into. When we discussed our life vision under these various categories, the first, he says, S stands for spiritual transformation, A stands for association transformation, I stands for individual transformation. Actually, if you look at all the buckets that we went through today, it is actually falls under these 3 buckets. That's what we did. Health and fitness was an individual one, emotional state was an individual one, character habits was spiritual, along with spiritual practices and your relationship with yourself. All those 3 categories fell under spiritual. Then we went into, for the associations, it began all the way from family. You got to redo that with children, spouse, and then social circle. That went into association. And again, association went in for career and finance, because that's how you transact with the world. And we are social creatures, we live in this world. So career, finance, and experiences of what you want to experience in this world, and the environment. All these fell under, again, the association aspect. So if you look at it, we went through this S, A, and I categories that he's mentioned about. And what does he therefore finally say and leave us with? He says individual transformation is the basis for the other 2. Therefore, this is the first step. But these days, the word individual is not properly understood. So he says for SAI transformation, all 3 levels of transformation, individual transformation is the basis. But he says it's not properly understood. He says, usually we take the human form into consideration and identify it as the individual. But who is an individual? He says, he who manifests his divinity through his conduct, or he who manifests his conscience through his instruments and equipments, through his body, mind, and intellect, is truly an individual. So this manifestation of the conscience through our BMIs, in the way, in our physical energy, in our mental energy, and intellectual energy, is what he calls as individual transformation, because of the conscience shining through. And that's what this document is. This document, if you just need to read it and go to it all the time, and it plugs you right into your conscience, because you spent this time conversing, evoking, and being with Bhagwan. So this is your living conscience in a written form. It's like the Guru Granth Sahib for us, our own personal Guru Granth Sahib, like how the Sikhs have it. So we go and look at it, and it tells us what we should be doing, because if we have truly done this exercise right, we are plugged into the source, and it's a written down version of that. Because we want to, at this point, truly acknowledge and thank Region 7's, Brother Satish brought this up. They were doing a miniature version of this, I think, and Brother Arun, who's their advisor, brought this up, and he shared a beautiful story. He said, it seems Swami came in, Brother Arun Balaraman, who is one of the advisors, I think, of the San Jose Center, SJC Center there, and told his mom, ask him to write down what he wants, and have that as a conversation with him. Ask him to write down what he wants to evolve on, and have that as a conversation with me. And so that was a basis as well for this exercise. And that is why we believe it is truly a manifestation of the conscience, and the true yearning for the soul is penned down in this document. And we therefore refer to it in lieu of not having a fully developed conscience, in one sense that we can always connect to if we are not yet there. For those of us who are there, phenomenal, nothing like it. But otherwise, that's why we call it a guardrail. You go and check, has this something to do with where I want to go? Or is this got nothing to do with where I want to go despite it being cool? Or if I do this, is it a waste of my time and energy because it has nothing to do with what I want to do? So that's what this document is. So hopefully that made sense. So with that, we're done, you guys. Sai Ram.